Hello everyone and welcome to yet another webinar session conducted by Factana Computing. Thank you for taking our time and joining us in this webinar session. So today's webinar will provide you insight on features and functions of our renewed Fogwing Asset Plus and how an organization can diminish asset downtime and improve performance using our solution Fogwing Asset Plus. My name is Shweta and I am part of sales and marketing team at Factana Computing. For those joining us for the first time and for those who have always been a part of our previous webinar, thank you for joining us again today. We are glad to have you here. Allow me a moment to quickly brief you about Factana Computing and our offerings. So basically, Factana is an industry 4.0 application provider. Factana has been supporting multiple small, medium, and large enterprises in their process of adopting Industry 4.0 and digitalizing manufacturing operations. We are a global company with operations in India, Europe, USA, and across the country, as well as globe. A quick brief on our product suites. Fogwing is the industrial cloud offering various digital solutions for Industry 4.0. Our flagship product, Fogwing IIoT, offers connecting to machines and assets for data aggregation. Asset Plus Performance Management is our exclusive industrial asset condition monitoring solutions to enhance production efficiency, predict and prevent machines failure. We will be discussing in detail about it, and that's the reason we are all gathered here. Next comes our S-Factrix AI, which is our smart manufacturing execution software for digitizing shop floor operations to ensure operational efficiency, quality compliances, and to maximize ROI. Mr. Hariharan Ganesh, who is the founder as well as chief architect of Factana Computing, will be presenting this exciting webinar. So before getting started, a quick note to all of you. If you have any questions or queries, do not hesitate to ask. You can post all your questions in the chat box, which we will be taking it one by one towards the end of the webinar in our Q&A session. So without further delay, let me hand over to Mr. Hariharan. Over to you, Hari.
Thank you, Sweta. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're connecting from. This is an exciting session for us because we have recently launched renewed Fogwing Asset Plus solution. Previously, our Asset Plus software was more intended to monitor the asset performance in terms of measuring the parameters and identifying the performance health conditions, but now we have renewed it to add more comprehensive functional features for the maintenance management. As part of our journey, we are working on to address various industrial cases and helping them to digitalize their entire operations. So maintenance management is one of the critical process in any industry. So we are addressing comprehensively as part of our new release in Fogwing Asset Plus solution. So since we are talking about maintenance, we have to I just want to put it in the front like how critical it is on the manufacturing or any other industry where physical assets are involved or physical machines are involved in terms of the production or working operations. So maintenance is very, very critical on the business success and growth. It's not just doing maintaining a machine. It is about how inappropriate maintenance cause a damage to the business and how that could lead the business into closure. And that's why it's very critical. And of course, there are industry measurement that indicates that machine failure and lack of time for maintenance, it's comprehensively leading to 30% of the failure in the manufacturing operation, especially on the industry cases. And also, the criticality of the maintenance is not just about mission condition, but it's also about how that correlate with the business operation, such as reliability of the production, reliability of the production operation, quality of the product that we produce, and how we are planning and committing to the customer in terms of the delivery timeline, and based on the machine availability, obviously, and that based on machine performance or machine conditions. Which, if anything, on these areas in terms of reliability, quality, delivery, that leads into a lot of investment ways, over investment in terms of operating cost, and that might lead into profit loss or business loss itself. So maintenance could touch poor maintenance process or poor maintenance management could lead into many business challenges, and could lead into the business to closure. So business continuity is also relying on the maintenance, perfect maintenance management. So in terms of the goal for the strategy, right? So according to the industry measurement, on the top 5 maintenance strategy that adopted worldwide, includes still it's leading by the preventive maintenance, as more than 60% of the companies are not yet adopted the fully integrated maintenance management process, such as predictive maintenance. So preventive is leading one. So, but the goal of maintenance strategy is to make sure that it's a business continuity, and obviously that relying on the machine availability and efficiency, operational cost, lower operational cost, and more important is the worker safety. So the poor maintenance may lead into any damage that happens in the floor, could lead into business continuity issues. So preventive is still leading it, and then predictive is the following one, which now more interested, more adapted technology for the maintenance management aspect of that. So in a smart factory, when we're talking about smart factory or industry 4.0, it's all about digitalizing the whole process and make sure the data available for everyone, and accessible, and insights, or the intelligence is intelligence is available to the executors, and so they can take a business decision faster, easier, or any operational decision faster, easier, in terms of business efficiency, production optimization. So according to Gartner, the smart factory is all about connecting the physical and digital processes together, to make sure current and future demands are fulfilled. Obviously, as we saw, 76% is in preventive maintenance and 41% is predictive maintenance, relying on both of them are crucial strategy for crucially important for the smart factory initiatives. And that drives value in terms of better business planning and scheduling. That drives value on the maintenance knowledge retention, because most important challenge of in the maintenance management is the knowledge of who can fix the particular mission problem when it occurs, and it's heavily relying on the people, and having that in people mind, then the system could lead into complete downtime on the business. So knowledge retention in a common digital platform is very important for the proper maintenance strategy. That's part of the smart initiative. And predicting the asset life cycle, not just predicting the maintenance requirement, not just predicting the maintenance needs, but also predicting the entire life cycle of the asset, from the beginning, inception to the sunset, how that life of the machine goes through, and based on that, taking subsequent purchasing decisions to decide which machine gives better life cycle for my operating principles and things like that. So predictable asset lifecycle management is crucial on this smart factory aspect of that. That's a value that driven by the solution, and then optimizing the inventory, things like that. So smart factory and a smarter way of managing maintenance operations could lead into a lot more potential value to the business in terms of how the efficiently the business operates or the factory operates. So when we have looked at this whole comprehensive view of how important is maintenance and how important is this should be more comprehensive solution that should connect all aspect of that and drive value to the business. So we have come up with a model on the two crucial portion of this. One is the maintenance management, typically the work order creation, the work order management, and things like that, and then the performance of the machine with the live data that comes from the machine. So capturing that with the help of IoT solution. So combined together, how we can present the most meaningful value to the maintenance team so they can efficiently work on making the machine availability and things like that. So that's a core drive for us to enhance our Fogwing Asset Plus to come up with a new comprehensive version 2, which provide both CMMS feature as well as the IoT-based performance management together. So the key functionality, if we have, there are many features that we built last few months. We built many different features to enhance the experience. So we can categorize that as a 4 category. One is the work order management, on how work order management, typically that's a baseline for any maintenance management and computerized maintenance management. And then looking at the asset lifecycle, in terms of how asset can be managed and what various stages asset can go through, and then the parts required to run the maintenance operation properly is because 90% of time maintenance depends on the parts availability. So availability of the parts is also crucial to do the maintenance work. So we have embedded the parts management, especially maintenance parts management, spare parts management, as part of this solution, and the stakeholder management who involves on that, because the maintenance is all about collaboration within the organization. It's not just a maintenance team that use the system, but other departments that also get involved into that. So how we can consolidate together all different stakeholders involved on the maintenance process in a single unified system that can be adopted by any small and medium companies as well as the large enterprises. So we are going to walk through on how we have built this whole solution, and I'm going to demo on each section on that, how the product supports it. So the very crucial part or the baseline of any application, any maintenance management software is the work order management. So work order, is nothing but order given to the maintenance engineers to go and do the maintenance work. Assigning the work to the maintenance engineers to execute it, and that could be triggered by the business side, operational side, as well as in the maintenance team itself. So the workflow starts from maintenance request initially, and then creating a work order, and then assigning the work order to the engineers, and engineer executes the work orders and complete it. But also, how do we build the preventive work order automatically by the systematic? So it's a comprehensive way to look at how the work order life cycle is going through the process. So let me share my screen and then walk through on the application. So maybe let me take a step back and then just to give you the idea. So you can go to app.assetplus.ai and you can see the login screen. If you don't have account, you can create account by providing basic information. Since I already have account here, I simply log in. As soon as you log in, the first time you log in, you may not have any data sets, so you may see some settings and guidelines there. But once you start doing basic things, then you can start using quickly. The simplest form of this application is that you don't need to do a lot more settings in the first time when you want to try it out. You just simply need to create an account, and then you can go here and then create a work order without doing any basic configuration. You can just create a work order. You just enter the work order. Let's take I want to create a work order as a first maintenance, right? So I just create it, and then that's it. So it gets created. So if you go to work orders, you can see the work orders that recently created, and you just need to give the name for that. You don't need to assign any asset. You don't need to create any customer, user, or any other things. You just simply create it. This way you can just simply create a work order and manage it. As simple as that. But the workflow usually starts from the maintenance request. So let me step back and walk through the step-by-step process. When as a maintenance manager, I receive the request, I go to the maintenance request, either by phone or email or any other way I'm getting it, or somebody's walking into my room and then saying that, or somebody calling and giving me that, hey, this particular machine is making some noise, can you come and look at that? So anything that comes from the request, right? So I create a request, I go and create a request. Let's take, I wanted to check the oil pump, and I may configure the customer or not. I may say that, okay, today is my day that I need to check this noise on the pump, check that. So I just create a request because on behalf of the customer, and this can also be done in the later part, how customer can trigger it by sending email and all. But right now, so for simplicity, I'm just showing, how it can be created within the system by the manager itself, if the customer or the requester is not having a access to that. Customer here could be internal customer, could be external customer. It could be internal company people, or it could be you're doing service for somebody and they are the customer that requesting this kind of maintenance records. They could be the user. So as soon as you created it, it's creating a maintenance request. So from the request, I just created the request that I received from the customer or the internal users. So I need to create a work order and assign to somebody. So as simple as that, you can just right click on the maintenance and then create a work order. Automatically it's create a work order number. Let's take, oil pump. Just give the meaningful name for my engineer to understand, oil pump noise. And then I'm saying that, okay, Rick is the person I'm assigning this to. That's it. So from the request itself, I can create a work order and that automatically creates and assign to Rick. And Rick could see that in his way of looking at this. So as soon as I created the work order. If I go to the work order, I can see that particular work order. So if you are an independent person managing the entire maintenance in a smaller companies, or if you have a team of people that you are managing, either you can do as a manager yourself on executing the work order, or you can ask your engineer to go and do the work. So I can show you in both ways. So this login, what I'm seeing here is a manager login. So I'm looking at from the manager login, but this particular work order I assign to Rickmont. So I do have the Rickmont account as well, just for the demo purpose. If I go to the Rick account, so this is a Rick account where he has a limited functionalities in terms of what he can do as a maintenance engineer. In his dashboard, he can see all the work orders that he has assigned and he has done and what is pending things together. So this is the way they can also access the system. They can also get to see that, what work assigned to them on a particular day, and they can start planning their day effectively. Either it could be a person internal to the organization, or it's a remote maintenance team that you as an organization assigning to some external maintenance team to do the work. You can still do that. There is no need of people should be within the organization. This system can be used between cross organization as well as internal organization. So as a maintenance engineer, when I come to that my dashboard, I can see that just now the work order created and I supposed to complete today, and this is on demand. So how? Okay, this is again already allocated to me. So I just go here and of course physically I went there and I looked at that and I saw that, okay, there is a noise is coming. It was because of the belt. So I just adjusted it. So I tightened the belt. So now the noise is gone. So I got that work order. So I'm coming back and look at this. Okay, I'm completed this work order. So I just need to complete it. I simply create a completed, and then I say that, okay, I worked 1 hour or maybe half an hour. Belt noise that fixed now. Okay. Here I can I will talk about reading later, so I just put it number here, so just for completing it. So that's it, my work order is completed. As soon as I completed my work order, when the manager looking at the system in the manager's login, so now you can see here in the manager's login, the work order is in the closed status, so it's completed. So Rick worked on the work and he completed it. As simple as that, when the Rick working on the field, or it can be done even end of the day. They don't need to come on the system frequently do that. They can do in a periodic basis, or the engineer may go to the field, take a note of all the work orders, go to the field and then fix all of that, and then come back and then just close all the work orders. So based on how your current operational model, you can easily adapt it without frequently doing things which may add more overhead for you in terms of computerization. So as simple as that, you can do that. Suppose if you created a work order but you have not assigned to anybody, so like this work order, you want to assign it, you can just simply click on assign work order and choose the engineer. Let's take, I wanted to choose myself because I'm Martin manager. I can choose myself and then I just submit it. So this work order assigned to me. So when I'm coming to this dashboard, this work order shows on my name. So I can close that work order quickly. So let me do one thing. So here, yeah, Martin. So I can see this work order that I need to complete it. So so as a manager, I can also execute work order, because sometimes individual person or manager could also be one of the engineer and who also goes and fix the problem and coming back and recording it. So as a manager, I can say that okay, I started this. I have just started this, so I have not entering any value here. So just started looking into this issue. That's it. You can notice here there is no metering here because this is not this particular asset is this, there is no asset assigned here. So it's just a floor level work, or it may be non-asset work. So I can just look at that work. So even simple task assignment can be done here without even creating assets. As simple as this is how the work order flow is working. There are a lot of hidden things are there in that, functionalities are there. But for the sake of time and on this webinar, I just covering a basic level. You can go log in and explore what other functionalities are there, because if you go here in the work order, there are many different options are there. There are many different options are there in terms of allocating parts, executing work order, assigning to that, and even communicating things like that. So now coming back to the session, so as we saw that you can create a work order, you can create a request, or you receive a request, and you can schedule a work order, you can execute a work order, and you can assign a work order to your engineers, and they can do like starting, progressing, holding, or completed work order at whatever frequencies. And the time that they are entering also keep track on each and every asset, how much effort, maintenance effort is spent. And that is crucial because using that we can also calculate the cost of the operating cost of the particular asset. So that's system by default doing it. Now the most crucial thing in the CMS system is the preventive maintenance, right? So let me go back and show the preventive maintenance. So preventive maintenance, as a manager account, I go here and I can I see a specific page functions. So where I can create I can schedule a maintenance, preventive maintenance. As simple as that, you create a preventive maintenance. You want to create a preventive maintenance, and you say that let's take, I want to do the preventive maintenance for this transformer. Okay, so I want to frequently do the inspection check. Okay, so this work order is inspect transformer. Okay, so check the oil level and temperature. So I can say this, I want this to be a low priority and maybe assigned to Rick itself. So he's going to do that. So I can do this, in terms of from which date to which date I wanted to start it. And let's take, I wanted to start from today. And every week I want to do that. So I can select, let's take, every week I'm selecting a Tuesday, where, I can go and create it. This work can be created, assigned to Rick automatically. So, and then I can also select a checklist, because we do have a checklist functionality. This is the way that we are enforcing the system operating procedures for the engineer to do that. I will show you how to create a checklist, but I already have a checklist. Let's take, there is a checklist. So I selected the checklist. I say that, okay, go ahead and do this work. And this needs to be done every Thursday. So automatically this work order will be created, assigned to Rick on every Thursday. The end date I can choose probably, let's take, May end, till May end, do this work. So when I'm scheduling it, it's creating a preventive scheduler. So as soon as it's created, it's in draft state. As soon as the scheduling is happened, the scheduling happen every 15 minutes once. So automatically it schedule the work orders to Rick by itself. So if I go here, I can show you some of the preventive work orders already created. I go here and then check the preventive. So you can see here all the preventive work orders previously scheduled and created by automatically for so and so date and all. So this is how preventive work orders can be created and assigned automatically. You need to schedule it like a typical calendar, and then when the date comes in, the work order creates 15 days before itself. The work order get created, assigned to the person who is responsible doing that, and that way it is getting assigned to the person, and planning also can be done effectively. So that's about the preventive work order scheduling automatically with the system. Now let's go into the next when I think we have seen that how the preventive work orders works in terms of daily, monthly, weekly, and then how it can be assigned, how the checklist can be assigned to that. And I wanted to show how this can be hold and cancel, because sometimes you are planning a preventive maintenance, but due to some issue you or some other need, you have to hold the automatic scheduling of the preventive maintenance, right? So you want to hold that process. You don't want that to be continuously creating work orders. You wanted to correct it and you wanted to hold it for some time until you do that. So for that purpose, you can go to the any preventive work orders. Let's take, you can hold to the preventive work orders. Let's take, this is a draft state, right? Or this is in the scheduled state. I can create a pass. So when I'm doing a pass, automatically that particular work order or on the scheduling is passed. That means whatever the new work order creation will not happen, preventive work order creations will not happen. So that particular model is passed. And you can come back anytime and then resume it. So when you're coming back, and then you can say that, okay, resume it, and it gets again, gets scheduled. So as simple as that. So you can schedule it, you can assign automatically, you can plan and create a work order ahead of time. And if you want to pass that, you can also pass it and resume it. So all of them is possible with the preventive work order. Next one is a metering. So in terms of asset management and metering, so asset information management, how many assets we have, what is the life cycle, what is the period that it is going through, how many times maintenance, what are the different conditions it's going through. So we can create all of them. So we have an exclusive asset management module itself, and where you can capture all the asset information and managing it. More important, we support metering, manual metering, as well as IoT metering, and that's part of the whole comprehensive solution. So if you don't have the IoT connected machines, but you want to do the maintenance and you want to measure it on how the machine is lifetime is progressing or any particular parameter, you can set a manual metering through which your maintenance engineers, every time when they're submitting a work order, they can mandatorily submit the meter value as per the current status of the machine, and then record it. So that's the way you can manually do that if you don't have the IoT solution. If you have a IoT connectivity and you want IoT connectivity, you can use our Fogwing platform, IoT platform, to connect the integration between your machine and to our platform, and feed the metering values automatically from your machine to the particular assets. So that way, it is fully integrated, no manual intervention, no manual reading are required. You can simply drive it, and that is more efficient way of driving it. And in this platform, we support both for simplicity and easy adoption, and it depends on you. And also we have an exclusive dashboard for monitoring the asset or 360 view of the asset performance. So let me show that how and where you need to do that. That's applicable only to the manager. So manager can go and look at the assets. So now I have a view of assets where I can see list of assets available and the status. There is a comprehensive view in terms of how asset can be viewed as well. So now if I go here, let's take this is the asset that I want. I have this asset, and this is right now its available status. Suddenly this asset becomes fault, and I want to put it because somebody reported it's a fault. I may have to, the right way to do that is create a maintenance request as a fault request, and then put this asset onto the fault status. But if you want to do that quickly, because you internally identified that it's a problem, there is no request, but maintenance team itself identified, you can go and change the status of the asset into fault and under maintenance. So you can do that, or you can get a request and then through it you can do that. Suppose you are doing some maintenance and there is that require external OEM vendor or somebody mission support team or the provider who has to come and fix it. You can put the asset into maintenance mode, as well. So you can manage asset, but typically, creating asset is very simple. You just need two parameters. If you want to simplicity, you just need to put asset name and asset code. As soon as you put the asset name and code, you can create asset. But if you want to do capturing all other asset information in terms of the specifications, in terms of the lifetime, maintenance frequency, and hours working, productivity, all of that, you can still do that. So you can also assign to that to a particular factory. So as simple as that, let me show one simple asset. So I'm going to add one motor. So I'm just simply saying motor. So, and I'm choosing in this motor, I just created motor, and I'm saying that there is a metering on this. I'm just showing a metering, how metering can be done. And then if I go to I'm not going here, I'm going manual metering, or IoT based metering. IoT based metering is available to the specific subscriptions. Manual metering is available for anyone. So you can go to the manual metering, and I say that speed of the motor. Okay, so I measure it by the speed. If the speed slow down of the motor, that means there is a problem in the motor. Or I can simply say that noise. Okay, so noise level. So I can say that dBT, decibel. So I'm saying noise. Okay, so then I can create it. So as simple as that, the asset get created, and it's available. You can make this asset as well. If you want to put it under maintenance or fault, you can do that. So as simple as that, you can create a simple asset. If you want to configure more information, it's up to you. You can configure more information. You don't need to have images, or you don't need to upload it. Automatically it comes everything together. So that's how we can create a asset. And once you created the asset, you can also see the APM. So to give you the picture on how to see the APM, right? So this is a working asset that already worked hours. So I'm going here, and then I'm bringing the asset. So now you are seeing in the monitoring page where you have the various parameters, like we have the value. If this asset did not go through, recently created asset did not go through any maintenance fault report, so there is no value here. But typically, if you do the frequent fault conditions, your MTTR and MTBF value automatically calculated and display here. Based on the user input or IoT input, the reading comes here and shows that what is the current status of the mission, and how many times fault and other type of maintenance effectiveness in terms of fault versus other type of maintenance we have done it. So more preventive maintenance done than the on-demand maintenance, which is good. So we are doing proactively the maintenance than somebody complaining some issues, and we are doing that. So that's a good indication. And in terms of the metering, how frequently we get the metering data, who reported the data, that also display here. And following that, the maintenance history, how many times we did the maintenance, what is the effort that we spent on that, all of them is displaying in the bottom layer. So you have the maintenance history also. So you can see from the maintenance, from the machine basic information in terms of availability of the machine and model and serial numbers, or the machine basic information, as well as in terms of the performance measurement indicators, then the effectiveness of your maintenance. All of them you can comprehensively see in this page. The more data you feed it, the more visibility, more clarity you will get it in terms of how the maintenance happening in terms of the particular asset. Let me go back and then go to the next one. So now in terms of the parts, so we saw the work order management. We saw that how the asset can be managed, how the asset can be declared, created, and assigned and executed maintenance, and how various 360 view of asset performance. We can see that in terms of the metrics, KPI maintenance metrics, as well as the maintenance effectiveness. So we can, based on that, we can take a call on how effectively we are doing it, or we need to do more preventive maintenance to reduce the on-demand or fault conditions. So that's how we can look at the data. Now, parts information management is, again, it depends on you, whether you want to do the parts management or you don't have such need. You can skip this completely. Depends upon how you are processing it. If you already have inventory of parts and you basically stock it for to reduce the downtime period, so obviously you need a parts information, especially maintenance parts. You can manage it in the same system that we are providing, and that way you can also relocate it. So parts creation, parts management, part variation, quantity management, all of them is provided in this function. Also, you can create a purchase order and fulfillment. If you are increasing the parts, you are creating purchase order, and then you can fulfill it. Then you can also reserve the parts for the upcoming work orders, especially the engineers who are who's supposed to complete a work order. They can they can reserve the parts for them to complete the task on time, because that's crucial for them, right? So let me go back to the application and show that on the parts management. So you go to the settings page, so where you have the part information. Yeah, so you can go here and you are in the part management information. In this one, you can add a parts. You can say, let's take, I wanted to add a cleaning cloth. So I entered the value, and then I say that it's a black, and we have 50 quantities available right now. So it's count on that numbers. Okay. So then I can just simply say that, oh, it's in the warehouse or maintenance room. Okay, so I just put this in the maintenance room. So as soon as I created it, and then the parts get added here, that's it. And I can also create a purchase order. I can also create a receive it. So to do that, I need to create a purchase order. So now I have 50 stocks. Let's take a particular one. I want to increase it. Let's take this one. I want to increase it. Go to settings, and then you can have a purchase order, and go to purchase order, and then you can create a purchase order. In the purchase order, it could be one part or multiple parts. So you may have to select a purchase order date, and let's take today's date, and I'm saying that this is the PO for 1 2 3, and I can select a supplier. If I have supplier information, I do have supplier information, and then I can also have other values. So now if I go here, the PO lines, I can create I can submit this, so that I'm creating a purchase order header. Then now I'm adding a items. Which part is I need to select it here? Oh, this particular supplier is not providing any items, so I need to select a different supplier. Then let's see that which supplier is providing this. Oh, I created this. Let me go back to the parts, and then let's take this one. View supplier. I'm selecting this supplier who is the provider for this. So that way, if I go to the PO, I go to the PO, then I can see here purchase order, and I edit this purchase order, and then I add a PO part. Yeah, so I can say, let's take 10. Somebody is in line. Whose line is that? Okay, so sorry. Okay, then I select a cloth. I can select the 10 items, submit it. So then that's it. So I can create a PO line item. So this purchase orders get created. So that way, you can go to the parts, and you can also receive the parts. So if I go here, I can receive the purchase order number, and then receivable code, and then I can say that, okay, I got 10 items in the batch. Now that's it. So automatically it's increased. So you can create a purchase order, you can receive the stock, you can fulfill the stock as soon as, and then you can also measure the cost of that. Each item, you can measure the cost, because these costs are very important piece for us to calculate the overall maintenance operational cost. So then how to allocate, right? So allocation of reserve the parts, right? So let's take, I will go to the maintenance engineer, because it's more meaningful for the maintenance engineer to allocate the parts. Okay, so if I go to my schedule, where I can see the calendar view as well as this one, I go to the list table view. Now this particular work order, I need some allocation, part allocations. Okay, I need some cloths. Okay, so now I go here, I can identify the cloth, and then I can say that I need 3 quantities or 4 quantities, sorry, 3 quantities, totally 60 quantities available. So I need to allocate 3 quantities. So as soon as you click on that, and then it's get allocated to that. So that means that particular parts is available for that particular work order for rig to execute it. So this way, if you go to the parts level, you can also see that parts is parts quantity is reduced there. Okay, so you can see that parts is 57 in stock, because 3 of them is already allocated to Rick for completing his work order. So remaining items are visible for other engineers. So this way, you can effectively manage the part allocations to the particular work order, stock management, and how efficiently you wanted to refill it and all. I'm just rushing into, because we lost the initial some time to start the presentation. So I'm just rushing into that as time is running out of running out. So Let's take, quickly walk you through how the stakeholder management, because it's involved customer, users, engineers information, supplier information, timesheet tracking, all of them. So let me go back and so the application. Let me go to the manager view. Okay, so in the manager view, if I go here, you can see all the options here. Now I wanted to walk through the settings. Okay, so when you are setting up account, you can simply do that without setting up, or you can also create asset, you can also create a parts, you can also create a customer, you can also create suppliers, all of them. So typically what you need to set up, if you want to set up this system properly, you have to set up the plant and asset and parts, customer, supplier. That's a basic information that you need to set it up. Then ongoing basis, you can create a work order, you can create a MRO request, and then from that dynamically you can create a work order. You can also create a checklist. Checklist is one of the feature that we provide, where you can create a template checklist and assign those checklists to any particular work order, any particular asset related task, so that people can follow the checklist. And you can also do purchasing, metering. Even if you want to manage the fault code, suppose you are managing a fault code, you can manage the fault code also. You can also integrate your application, existing ERP application or SAP system or anything you want to do, like customer management or work order, the maintenance work order creation, or you want to feed the product information. You can use our APIs to do that. So you need to create API keys to access the APIs. There is an open API available to interact with our system directly, and other features are there for you. So main thing is user management. So let me go to the user management. This is where you have to add a users. You can based on your subscription, you can add a user. So there are two type of users we are supporting right now: the manager and engineer. You can add a hourly rate also for each engineer. Why this is you can calculate how much time that engineer spending for a particular maintenance work order, how many parts that used on that particular work order. That way, each work order you can calculate the total cost of the operating cost for the work order, and that cost can accumulate into the total asset cost of ownership is managed on that. So it is accumulation of all this data. So if you are calculating some hourly rate for your internal or external, you can calculate it based on the hourly rate here. So if I show you on the particular engineer, so this engineer, if I look at that, he's on hourly rate of 10. So you can set hourly rate of $10, and then he's doing it. Even in the RIC account, especially engineer RIC account, if he goes to the dashboard, it also shows how much earning he has made it in the month. So it basically shows to them that how much earning they made it based on their work hours on a timely basis. And at the same time, it is also helping to calculate the total cost of the asset operation management. So both are possible in the system. So metrics, you can go here. We are providing a set of metrics, and we are continuously innovate and bring more metrics. So you can see the effectiveness of the metrics in terms of work order execution. How many work orders, trend versus open work order versus closed work order. How many things are preventive? How much is completed? So you can see the metrics here, and on a different timeline basis, you can calculate and see the values. Or you can also see that effectiveness in terms of on-time completion versus delayed completion. How many times we effectively completed, how much preventive work order done versus on-demand work order. So all of them you can calculate it. So on-demand is 1 here, on-demand 3, but preventive is only 1. So like that, you give some metrics. You can also go to the cost sections. It gives the cost, total expensive asset, as well as expensive worker, who's spending more time. So you can get a more idea about how the effectiveness cost management is happening and things like that. So anyway, that's a high level. Quickly went through this. Now we'll go back to the session. Okay, so what is going to come? So we are continuously innovating, continuously adding more functionality. So one of the critical thing that we are working right now, working on the mobile app. It's almost development is going to complete, and we are running some test running. So this is very crucial for maintenance team to use the mobile app, because they are on the field and they wanted to feed live data into that. So especially work order execution and all. It's more useful for manager also when they are using a app and go to the field and quickly updating the status of the work orders. So manager can is responsible to answer to the management or the requester, so they get an instant information. So we are working on this, and soon we will release the app, so that should be ready for field engineers. to execute the work order from the app itself. And we have a lot of requests from our existing customers as well as the new prospects in terms of Spanish language support, as we have a lot of inquiries coming from the South America region. So we are working on the Spanish support. Team management, instead of individual task assignment, team management, form a team and assign a particular work order to the entire team. So you can do that level of bulk assignment as well. So in the upcoming features, more important, we are providing a IoT kit, which pre-built kit, which comes with vibrations, noise, temperature, or energy meters. So it's a plug and play. You can just attach our hardware device to your machines or any kind of machines where you want to measure the basic pulses, and you wanted to take that data automatically to the cloud. So our pre-built kit is like, you just go and attach it. As soon as you turn it on, the data will come to the cloud, and it will also show that value to that. And based on that data, you can automatically create a maintenance work, or you can send alert and things like that. So it's all coming as a bundled package. So it's not just a software that we are selling. We are also working on the end-to-end of solution. So customer need not spend time on building a IoT projects. Instead of that, they just buy a kit and then use the kit as it is. So as simple as that. But if you have a comprehensive complex cases, and you have a lot of other parameter reading, then obviously, we have a team of people who can support you, or our partners can support you in terms of connecting exclusive cases on that. And most important, in 2023, end of 2023, we are planning to give a live video streaming of your machine monitoring or asset monitoring. That's part of our feature function. And that way, you can not only the data coming from the machine through IoTs, but you can also physically watch how the machine is operating, and any other particular incident is happening around the machines in terms of any breakage or damage or anything like that. You can visually see that from remote, and that is possible with our live streaming, video streaming. So we are working on all these functionality features in the 2023, and I hope it will let us more and more smarter cases for our customers and help the customers to move into industry 4.1 rapidly. As we initially presented, we have a comprehensive platform, and we provide every end-to-end solution from the IoT connectivity to machine monitoring, machine maintenance management, MES solution, automatical, and then also we are working on the quality inspection solution, which is more like a computer vision solution that we are working on, and we are doing right now testing with our customers, but it is in progress solution and all. So we have everything covering to different use cases and needs based on the customers. So we help the customer to fully transform into digitally into the factory operations floors. That's it. Back to you, Sweta.
Thank you, Hari. That was quite an insight into Fogwing Asset Plus. Moving forward, we have few questions. I've got few questions that I will be reading them one by one, and you can respond to them. So the first question that we have received is, do you have any functionality around spare part barcode scanning during maintenance?
That's a good question. So we are right now we have a barcode or QR code. We basically go with the QR code usually. So we already have a QR code in our asset flags. So you can use it with the help of our IoT platform. So you can scan the QR code in the asset level, but barcode scanning on the part level, we are yet to complete on that. We are still working on that. That's a smaller feature that we have not listed in the roadmap because it's part of the upcoming smaller functionality. So it should be available sooner. But the QR code for the asset level to measure the asset, in the field, if you go to that asset and you can have a QR code and you can scan the QR code, it will open up a dashboard for you to show the asset parameters and what is the condition of the asset. So you can see that in our through with the help of our IoT platform, and combine together, Asset Plus and IoT platform combine together, and we can help you to roll out that functionality. But spare parts is we are working on.
Okay, great. So the next question is this platform completely free to use?
Not yeah, it's a free to use for micro level companies. I know we have always our cloud infrastructure itself. every product that we are offering, we have a free version. On that means, customer can come and experiment it, explore it, and use it free for lifetime. We don't, there is no need to, there is no trial period or anything. It's a lifetime. There is no need of credit card or anything to use as a free product. But there is a functional limitations. So it's more suitable for micro level companies or initial pilot projects. So once you are comfortable with that, you can subscribe to the next level and you get more functional features. And that way, you can enhance your experience into next level. Yes, to start with, yes, you can use it as a free platform. And absolutely, you have a freedom to do that, and lifetime. You don't need to, if you're limited to only those functionality, you can just use it as a free platform.
Oh, great. In continuation to the first question asked, Hari, we have another question. The spare part scanning is for field level failure traceability of a particular part or batch.
So right now we are looking at spare parts scanning only to identify the spare parts that required for the work. We are not doing the traceability from the failure from the back. That's a good feature to have, and probably that might be in our future plan. Maybe we need to put it in our roadmap and see where it is, how it can be done. So first, let us accomplish the barcode scanning to identify the parts, and then matching with the allocation, work allocation. Then we will do the enhancement further to do the traceability.
Sure. So the next question is how to connect my IoT device to this maintenance software for metering.
So you can use, if you already have IoT device, and you can subscribe to our Fogwing platform, and then there is a when you are doing the metering, you need to subscribe to the premium level. When you do the premium subscription, you get options of IoT. Let me share my screen. I think I may not have that. Let me show that. Oh yeah. So you have option when you are going for premium version, you have option of IoT connectivity. So those features will be enabled for you. You can create a configured device configuration and then providing your machine or your IoT device to connect to our platform through Fogwing. And then that data will feed into the metering automatically. So you need to do the mapping once you have the premium version. It is possible. Typically, we help the customer to do this. How to configure it. If you already have that, you know how to use our Fogwing platform. If you are an existing Fogwing platform user, then you could know how to configure it easily. Then that way, you can do that. If you are not sure about that, we can also help from our team to how to connect it. And we don't need to, you can bring your own devices, you can bring your own IoT hardware to connect to our platform. So we don't dictate like, you need to purchase everything from us. We also going to provide a predefined kit, but if you already have it, you can use it.
Great. Looks like we have a curious audience. So the next question is it possible to use for external customer or only internal to the company?
Yeah, it's possible to use external customers. So you can, there is no, binding in terms of, only internal should be using. If you are a maintenance service provider and you are doing like hundreds of customers, you are doing annual maintenance, you can still use the system. You need to declare the customer, you need to map your assets to the customer, and that way, you can create a work order, you can assign to your engineers and they go and do that. That way you can also track how much cost you are spending for the particular customer, particular assets in the customer environment. So it is absolutely possible. There is no limitation on that.
Great. So the next question what we have is what about property of facility maintenance management? Does Fogwing supports that as well?
Yes. So so that's a good question. So because we made it little more dynamic. So when you are creating an account, that needs to be done only based on your account creations. So when you're creating an account, when you're registering an account, there is a question called the purpose. Okay, so either you want to choose a factory maintenance or facility maintenance. If you choose a facility maintenance, the internal internal functionalities are slightly modified to fit into the facility management. You don't need to create assets. You don't need to you may create asset, you may not have asset. So you can do general facility aspect. The plant, the factory floor asset kind of a mapping need not be required in the facility management. So it depends on how you are creating an account. If you want to do, if your business model is more of factory maintenance, factory asset maintenance, you need to create it as a factory. maintenance, so that internal menus and the options will change, and the conditions how you manage the system. If you are facility maintenance, more focus on facility maintenance, you can select a facility maintenance. So your account setup itself will create like that. So dynamically it's changing based on how your account is configured.
Okay, sure. So that was all the questions we had for now. Thank you to Mr. Hariharan for answering all these questions patiently. I hope it was a helpful session for all those who have asked and for the others as well. Now, I think it's time to wrap up the webinar. As always, we would be posting the recorded version of this webinar on our Factana YouTube channel. So all of you who are interested can check out this as well as our previous webinar sessions on the YouTube channel. And for those who are seeking more insights on IIoT Industry 4.0 and Smart Factory, you can check our blog section by visiting www.fogwing.io/blogs and start exploring. Also, if at all you are looking for any collaborations with us, you can reach out to us on sales@factana.com. So that's all for today. Once again, thank you for joining this session and making it a success. We look forward to connecting with you in the next webinar. Have a very good day and evening. Thank you, Hari, for presenting this.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for joining this session. I hope you enjoyed this. We'll see you in the next session. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.